I'm live now, so.
Oh,
Okay. Can you turn the heat on? Let's see. Let's take the
well,
heat
you
on.
can't wait. You
Okay.
gotta wait. You
Oh.
gotta wait till the car warms up.
Oh, okay. Got it.
You gotta hold on.
Okay, so let's
But no,
talk.
let's drive though.
Well, let's before we drive, let's talk about this shitty movie as we warm up. So we just saw Harriet, the Harriet Tubman movie, and you know, I did not think it. You know what, man? I was really concerned that all the hype, the negative hoopla, was like overkill. That maybe, I was talking about something I didn't understand. That maybe the movie would surprise me, and then I would find that I would realize that perhaps I was just a negative fuck who just, was trying to be a hater. But oh my God, that movie was Hollywood
All of the
not
agenda
agenda,
things,
agenda.
but Boyce, it did not let us down
Oh my God, that
because we knew it was coming. We knew
the
there's no escaping it.
oh my God. I mean, the movie, like, I could have wrote a dissertation off
Yeah.
of how terrible that movie was in terms of racial stereotypes. And I don't know if some Negroes got together with some white folks in Hollywood and just said, we're gonna put some bullshit on screen so that white folks are happy. I mean, first of all,
Harriet Tubman was better than that. Her story and what
mm,
she was about, she was better than that movie. We did not do her justice. They did not do her justice with that movie.
yeah. Well, the thing was that it
Awful.
wasn't just that Harriet's better than that. It's that you know all of them were supposed to be better than that. Every black person associated with this film that had any sort of conscientiousness about
But
black
no,
people
no, just
or the image of the black man as a violent predator. What the fuck, man? You think about this. I mean, here's the part that probably offended me the most, and I'm gonna sleep on this. I took some notes. I was in there taking notes and snapshots and shit so that I could share it. I share a lot of that on my Instagram, the real Boyce Watkins. So feel free to go to my Instagram, which is the real Boyce Watkins. But basically, the thing that probably offended me the most was, think about this, babe. The black bounty hunter, this big, dark, scary man, where they played the scary, evil music when he came on screen. Dun 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 dun. They made that motherfucker look worse than the slave master.
the slave master.
The
I mean, he
slave
was
master.
saying some ratchet shit. He was like, when you catch Harriet, you can do whatever you want with her. When you catch, I mean, he was
Well,
really ratchet. He
the
beat
slave
up that
master
No, I'm
or
talking
the black bounty hunter.
the bounty hunter.
Oh yeah, the
He
black
was
bounty hunter.
awful.
Yeah, the black bounty hunter was worse than any white man
Yeah.
in the movie. In fact, remember when he went after the lady and said, "I'm gonna kill you, you black bitch."
Yeah,
Remember that
who
part?
talks like
What
that?
the fuck?
Who talks like that
What
in the
the
18th
fuck? Right, this nigga, he sounded like he
century?
was in a fucking black exploitation 1970s movie. Like, he's like, "I'm gonna kill you, you black bitch." What the
Who
fuck?
speaks like that?
Oh,
What
and
speaks like that?
here's the best part. Think about this, right? The black bounty hunter was a completely fictional character, totally made up, right? Harriet Tubman's little friend, Janelle Monáe's character, completely made up, fictional character, no historical record of either one of these people existing. So let me tell you how crazy Hollywood is. They took a historical narrative that was supposed to be based on a true story. They create a black man, they create a black woman, and then they have the black man murder the black woman.
Not only did he murder her, but he beat her to the pulp.
Yes.
And the white man did nothing. He's
Ooh.
supposed to be the slave master. He's supposed to be whipping ass every single minute of the day. He's whipping ass, getting slaves in check.
Mm.
But he couldn't beat this lady. He had to have the black. We saw the black man do some ratchet things in this film, and it was so stereotypical. We saw them as violent. We saw them as feminized.
Oh yeah,
Because
and there's
the
a
little
black.
tree fairy
Oh, there's a
wore the
black
little
man.
dress who looked like
There is a black man wearing a dress in the Harriet Tubman movie.
It
So,
was
so
unnecessary
the
for him to
Hollywood,
wear
the
the
Hollywood
dress.
agenda is extra real, y'all. I'm telling you, they had a black, all the elements. They had the black man, the dress. They had the Celie Suge Avery relationship from Color Purple. The whole lesbian relationship thing going on.
agenda.
They made Harriet Tubman into a lesbian in this movie, pretty much. because what they did was they had her husband be a punk ass piece of shit who didn't support her, right? Who like hurt her feelings and left her for another woman and shit, right? Right. So the black husband ain't shit. The black male lawyer was a fucking coward.
Oh, he was a coward. She's like, okay, I just ran off and freed my damn self from slavery. Now I'm gonna go back and get my family members, and he's sitting there like, what are you doing? She comes and she shows and proves that she can do it. And every time she wanted to go free somebody,
the black man was like, don't do it, Harriet. Don't do it. You gonna get killed, girl. They gonna kill you.
He's falling out of his chair. Surprise.
You gonna get killed.
What a fucking coward that man. He was such a coward.
So think about this, right? You have some significant stereotypes of the black male that they put in this film. You have the black man wearing the dress, the feminized black man. You have the violent, brutish black man filled with toxic masculinity who's trying to kill the black woman. You had the
cheating.
You had the black man who cheated or left her for another one, broke her heart, and then you have the black male coward. So black men are either filled with toxic masculinity, or they are beta men, or they are feminine men. Those are four major images of the black male that they included in this film, which is quite fascinating. I mean, this film was as much or more about black people, in terms of how Hollywood wants to portray them, than it was even about white people's treatment of black people during slavery. Like, there's so much more. I took like a bunch of notes. I said, oh my God. I am flabbergasted by how ridiculous this fucking movie was. It should have been a fucking cartoon. It was that ridiculous. And whoever the fuck made this movie should be ashamed of themselves. And I'm sorry, I got to just say it straight up. And I hate doing this because I'm sure they're proud of their work. I'm sure plenty of white people will clap and give them fucking Academy Awards and shit. But what's really interesting, here's the crazy part. The two imaginary made-up black people in the film killed each other. The black man kills the black woman. The made-up black man, the made-up bounty hunter, kills the black woman and stomps her face. And think about this. Not one white man was killed in the making of this movie.
Why wouldn't she shoot the guy?
She did not shoot. She shot in the air and then threw the gun down and gave him a fucking speech.
People ain't supposed to own people.
Right, and rode away on a white horse. That's what's wrong with black people now. Y'all weak niggas giving speeches and shit and hoping white people decide to become good human beings. It's not to say all white people are equal. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, like, this whole like that's why they kill you. That's why people don't respect you.
Oh no, there were plenty white people. There were 2 or 3 white men in that movie that actually helped her.
Oh yeah, she had plenty.
Helped her along the way.
Here's the crazy thing: she had as many.
She didn't even have to ask them.
She had as many white men helping her as there were black men helping her.
What black man helped her?
No. Remember the pastor.
The fairy.
The
pastor.
The preacher, the fairy.
The fairy.
The
tree fairy.
you had the guy in the boat. The guy, I guess he was doing, and then the lawyer, the little cowardly lawyer, right? He helped her. Like, there was a few black men that helped, but it was like a lot of white men. Like they really like this was like a white liberal fantasy portrayal, right? And it was kind of like a way of saying like I can see why the Roland Martins of the world love movies like this, right? Because they see themselves as the Moses that will lead black people away from the Republican Party, say, to the Democrats, where the Democrats will have the abolitionist society. Because all the abolitionist society was the fucking Democratic Party with some Negro elites or whatever, and basically saying these are the good white people, and you need to make sure that you're around the good white people instead of the bad white people. Now the problem, though, historically, is that black people were getting lynched in the North. Black people were being mistreated in the North. They were getting killed in the North when the whites in the North did not want black people up there taking their jobs. So basically, what the thing that black people never learned is that you have racists on both sides of the aisle. You got Democratic Party racists, you got Republican Party racists, and black people need to take care of themselves. And you need your men to be strong, And so this idea of it's like this weird feminist narrative. Not that all feminists think this way. I know you can explain why that's not true, but it's it bothers me because, as a black man, I didn't see too many images of masculine black males in that film who could just be decent, strong warriors who are fighting
nobody
on
to be
behalf.
proud of.
Right,
No one to be proud
here's the
of.
deal.
You did
Like,
a really good job.
right. Like, so this made up bounty hunter. The movie's a big fucking lie, right? It's a Hollywood fairy tale. But the made up bounty hunter, like, tell me where there was a black man who was as masculine as him, who was actually fighting for Harriet. There was no black man like
nobody.
that. All the black men were scared. They were cowardly. They were running behind Harriet. They were just kind of buck dancing the whole time, bug eyed and shit. And you had the only, really like the most masculine black man in that film murdered a black woman. I mean, what the fuck, man? Like, seriously? And this shit never happened. This never happened in this movie. All of this was completely made up.
And it's traumatizing to see that. Like, it's hard enough to see a slavery movie.
I'm not watching no more goddamn slave movie. Can we all, like, everybody's watching?
Moratorium.
Can we make an oath right now? Right now, I raise your right hand and say, I repeat after me. I solemnly swear that I'm going to do my best before God to not indulge in any more Hollywood manufactured slave movies. I will not indulge in any more of those slave movies because I'm done. I just can't do it, man. We went to see this shit. I'm not gonna lie, but I thought I'd be wrong. I really thought.
I mean, it was so much back and forth and so much controversy about it. We had to see for ourselves. And I'll say, the moment that she did not shoot him at the end and went off with that white horse. I grabbed my purse. I was like, I'm ready to go. I don't need to sit through the rest of this movie.
Oh, well, that part I knew.
I was ready to go.
I knew about that. Like, I knew. Yeah, people
had
told me online that no white people were killed, but 2 black people were killed.
Okay.
And the crazy thing is that the black woman was killed by the black man. And I didn't know that the black man killed the black woman. I just knew he was trying to kill Harriet. So he was trying to murder
he stomped her in her face.
He was trying to kill every black woman in the goddamn movie. Like, seriously. And the only reason he didn't get to kill Harriet was because the white man protected Harriet. What the fuck? And then at the end, her and the slave master had this little love affair conversation where he's like, I know you liked me. You liked me. You love, and then she gives him a little speech and like spares his life, which to me was
such a lame speech.
It was
so lame.
Oh, it was so lame. It was very lame. And it was like this exchange of compassion between, because they grew up together, so they were like, like you can just fast forward that relationship 100, 200 years later, those two are fucking getting married. Those two are actually dating, and she's basically just telling him, like, we can be together as long as you understand that I'm the boss, right? Which is kind of like interesting, because I think that fits the narrative of a lot of the relationships between a lot of black women and white men. Like, I think that they kind of get with these white men, they boss them around, tell them what to do or whatever, and they become like Prince Harry and Meghan Markle and shit. So ultimately, it's like, if you think about this really feeds into that story of the black woman who is in love with the slave master, who really like think about this.
So
I mean,
we love our oppressors.
We really do. We really do.
We connect with them.
We fantasize about. I mean, some black women fantasize about like white guys. Like, what was it? Like, if you watch Scandal, here this guy, he's the president. He's got a wife, and you're like, and the best she feels like she can do is to be his side chick. Or you look at Meghan Markle, and unfortunately for her, this white boy she married across the sea, his family got all their wealth from murdering and slaughtering and castrating and raping black people for hundreds of years. Like, that's literally how they got their wealth. And you're like proud of that. Like, you now.
And the show How to Get Away with Murder.
The show How to Get Away with Murder.
Even
again,
she was married to a white man who treated her like that was like. Have you seen? I have to show you the scene in a movie. That really was like slave master, slave person, because he was awful to her.
How to Get Away with Murder?
Yes.
I haven't seen that show.
I showed in my black woman presentation. When I do my black feminist
or
womanist I end on the womanist note, but when I do my presentation, I show that clip.
Wow.
And it's really powerful.
Yeah, the movie was just terrible. I mean, it was was sad. It was very sad to watch. And the thing was, it wasn't cinematically bad. Like, it wasn't like they didn't, put all the elements of a good story together, but it, so I guess if you're white, you would really like it. If you're not an intelligent person, you would love it. But if you are a person who is culturally sensitive and sort of up to date on Hollywood's little tricks when it comes to
You don't
black
even
people.
have to be woke to understand. I mean, this movie.
Shit, that movie
You
wake
don't
your
even
ass
have
up.
to be woke to really get the mind control in this movie.
Yeah, that was
You
just.
know, I wish we would have, because we were the only people in the theater. I wish we could have seen it with a crowd of people so that we could see just how everybody else experienced it.
I don't think it would have
Although
been.
we were pretty
I would've-
noisy
yeah,
in that film. I would have been.
Yeah, I wouldn't have enjoyed being in there
They would have
with.
been shushing me.
Yeah, I wouldn't have enjoyed being in there with other people because they would have thought that we were being too serious.
Yeah, but you know when we approached this movie, boys, we did not approach this movie as to be entertained. We approached this movie like scientists.
Yeah, well,
We were
I had to go see it
scientists. We were doing
so I
our
would know what I was
research.
talking about, right?
And I think part of it should have been what other people felt. Like, there were moments where I was like, oh my God, no. But there had to have been other people. I can't be alone on
No,
that.
I would not have been happy with other people in this theater.
They wouldn't have been happy with me because I was loud.
Yeah, I wouldn't have enjoyed it with other people because I was so blown away by how it was worse than what I'd heard. I'd been hearing how bad it is for
Yeah.
days. You know, people have been telling me about it. And it wasn't until I actually went to see it where I was like, oh my God,
This
they
is
really did. Whoever the fuck was making the movie, like they did not have a single woke person in the bill. Everybody in that room was drugged by Bill Cosby that made that motherfucking movie. For
Did
real.
somebody say objection? Did
So-
someone in the
Somebody's asking,
room-
did you get your money back? No, we didn't get our money back.
We need our money back.
It was late. It's like after midnight, so we just walked out. But we did leave. Well, we were gonna leave before the movie.
I was ready to go, but you.
Well, I wanted
You
to
were
see.
stopped.
I wanted to go to the end because I wanted to see when the black bounty hunter was going to kill Harriet and how that went down. So the white man comes in and saves Harriet's life. Think about this. Harriet, according to the way this film was done, Harriet Tubman would not be alive if it wasn't
Saved
for
by him.
the slave master. If the white boy had not saved, and that's why Harriet spared his life, because he saved her life. Like, that's the reciprocity I think they were communicating in the film, which was, to me, that's an underlying sort of, not a love affair, but almost like a connection
Why
between
is
those two.
it that white people want to insert themselves in our story and they become the hero? She's supposed to be the hero in the story. It's supposed to be to her. So it was like she was the hero and the white man was pretty much hero. They
Yeah.
insert themselves in this story so that they can take the credit for a system of slavery of which they created.
I don't know. I can't. I mean, I think
I don't
that. Well, I think
understand that.
I think their thinking is kind of like, well, slavery would have ended if there weren't white people who didn't do something to end slavery, right? So I think they can legitimately say they play some part in all parts of American history, right? But because remember when John Brown tried to get black people to revolt, like they didn't help him the way they should have. Like a few people did, but not as many people stepped up as they should have, But I do think that when these stories are told, I mean, I think that the way Hollywood goes overboard in terms of always creating the white savior is kind of interesting. Yeah, I think that this movie was like such a turning point in black cinematic history. Because it's just such a reminder. Like I just can't support a movie like this ever again.
And she's a British actor too. She's
Yeah.
Britain.
Yeah.
Wonder why they picked,
Yeah, they. I couldn't believe. I mean, I think that black bounty hunter was probably the most offensive character I've ever seen.
So that really got you.
That got me because I'm like, God damn, this motherfucker wasn't even real.
Okay.
And he killed another person that wasn't real. So they create two people for a specific reason to promote a specific agenda. Those two characters, and I bet the fairy who had on the goddamn dress wasn't real. So think about this. I bet all three of those black people were not fucking real, right? But think about this. All these black characters, these fake black characters they created from outer space, every single one of them fulfilled a stereotype. One was filled with toxic masculinity who stomped a black woman's face and then tried to kill Harriet and said, I'm gonna kill you, you black bitch. The second one was the woman who did some real pseudo slick lesbian shit with Harriet had her in the bathtub naked, combing her hair and shit, right? That like color purple, Celie Suge Avery. That's what that was. That was your man disappointed you and broke your heart, so now you need to be with a woman. The third one was wearing a fucking dress. So every one of those characters was planted in that fucking story to basically program you and to basically feed a propaganda to you.
And then her husband. What do you think about her husband?
Oh, the husband was also, that also fulfills the stereotype. The stereotype for the stereotypical image that media presents to the black woman is, your men are garbage. They ain't shit. They're going to hurt your feelings and break your heart. They're filled with toxic masculinity. They're cowards. They're unsuccessful. And they're undisciplined in terms of taking care of their family and cannot be trusted. So therefore, you need to just go date a white boy. That's what it, or go date,
or the white boy's gonna save you.
Either date a white boy or start dating a woman. That's what it is. That's what it is. Like what you got is not good enough, so you need to go find something better. You need to go for the alternative.
What'd you think about the preacher?
The preacher, I thought the preacher was fine. Like, I didn't have a problem with the preacher. I think the preacher, now, if you wanted to if you want to be critical, which I don't want to be too critical with the preacher, but the preacher's role to me was like, he was kind of like that covert Negro, like the, what was that, the not the coons that stood by the door, but the spook by the door. He was the one who pretended to preach that whole, like, carry a pick and then you'll go to heaven, but yet he was secretly helping slaves escape. And I think that what that feeds into is a modern day image of like the black person who remains quiet and goes along and gets along, but works behind closed doors.
Disrupt things outwardly.
Doesn't want to disrupt things, but goes in and works in the white corporations to help black people like get better jobs and shit.
Okay, right? So that's what he represents.
Yeah, that to me is what he represented. What you really did not see is you did not see any strong black male revolutionary types in that film at all. Didn't. You saw Harriet, who was revolutionary enough, but it's kind of unfortunate that there wasn't, like, to me, if you're gonna fucking invent hyper masculine characters, why not invent a hyper masculine character who was right back supporting Harriet, arm in arm, working with her to free the slaves and to shoot white people in the dick and whatever the fuck. Put her with Django. I mean, since we making shit up.
Oh, but Django Unchained was a great film.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Right. So that's what since we making shit up, since the shit ain't historically accurate, then what we need to do is make fucking Harriet Tubman Part 2 and let her marry Django and let her shoot white people in the ass for the whole fucking movie.
Brunhilde.
Yeah, she could be Broomhilda, right? Right. Django ain't with Broomhilda no more. It didn't work out. He gonna marry Harriet and they're gonna just spend the whole movie shooting white people in the ass.
You are funny.
That would be I would see that movie. Whoever makes that movie, any filmmakers out there, if you make that movie, I will be in the front row and I will support you and I will promote your movie on my YouTube channel.
Okay, no more slavery movies.
No more slave movies. So can we at least agree, like, no more slave movies? We ain't going to see no more slave movies. I did this shit for y'all, man. I was trying to be helpful. I said I'm gonna go see it.
We did not recommend people see this. Right?
Well, I said I would go see it so they wouldn't have to go see it. I said if I go see it and I do the video and the video gets 50,000 views, 100,000 views or whatever, I can help black people save hundreds of thousands of dollars, right?
Well, I can't wait to watch your video tomorrow. When you actually do the video tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm gonna do something in more detail because I actually took notes and I'm gonna write down my notes and process it a little bit. But I think I just man, and I don't enjoy seeing our people just looking like buck-eyed and downtrodden like that.
10 minutes into the movie, and I looked at you and said, I don't like this movie.
It doesn't. Well, it doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't help. I think as a black man, I don't enjoy looking at a screen and seeing images of men who look like me, who are like children or little boys or bitches, or fearful or.
Yeah, because they came and they asked, "Oh, this lawyer has papers," and he was stumbling over his words. Remember?
Yeah.
To be free and
master.
That was so hard.
We got the papers, master.
And he took the papers and. Shred those papers
off.
Like,
really, what bothers me is like, when I look at that, I see these black men's foot shuffling and looking down and begging this white man for his attention. And the white men, they just kind of, they just walk and put their nuts on the table. Right? My balls on the table. Now what? And so to me as a man, I can't function with that. I'm not gonna play that game with you. I am not gonna fucking play that game with you at all, ever. I'm just not. I'm not. I'm not. And there's not an ounce. There's not a fiber in my body that will allow me to believe that you are in any way entitled to even begin to think that you're superior to me. You are not allowed to. You bet not even let that thought enter your motherfucking head. Like I
Well, I
can't.
mean, we
No.
don't even really care anymore. We don't care what people think,
Well, I care in the sense like
what they think.
right. Yeah, I don't care what they think, but I care what they. I. It's not so much about caring what they think. It's more about presenting yourself as a man, and I'm going to be a man. Like I can't. I don't want to be. I can't just sit there. I imagine like I just hate it. I hate it. I just hate seeing it bothers me. Like I hate
Is
seeing
it?
it makes me sad when I go out and I just see like broken down black men and yeah, because I feel like we are great. I feel like we are so extraordinary
Mm-hmm.
and we have so much greatness inside of us. And sometimes we never get to tap into it. And I think maybe because I know what it's like to be a black man who has not tapped into his greatness, who didn't know about his greatness. And
Mm-hmm.
when you don't know how great you are, you walk around, you go through life as a coward. You go through life living on fear and you don't, you
Like the
know,
lawyer. The lawyer was a coward. You know.
yeah, yeah. Like you can't, you're like, it's like there's like, it's like who you are is like a level 10 and you're operating at level 3. Most people go through life like that.
Well, I think what's interesting when she was really, I mean, there's a spiritual side to it too, because when she talked about what was going on in her head because of what happened, because of that scar, he
Mm,
wrote down on that piece of paper brain damage.
yeah, I do
You know what I
remember
mean?
that.
So there's a label right there of a
Mm,
black woman being brain damaged.
yeah, that's true.
So
That's true. Yeah.
yeah.
We gonna tell y'all straight up, don't go see this damn movie. This movie,
No, I don't.
unless you're into that stuff. If that's the agenda that you're
I'll
cool
give
with.
it. I'll give it a half a star, maybe
Out of
one
out of
star.
five
Out of five
stars,
star, maybe not. I don't think there was. What was redeeming? What was good about the movie? I can't think
um,
of anything redeeming.
I thought the acting was good. Right,
Ah,
they're good actors. I mean, they're all professionals. Um, I didn't. I'm trying to think. I
I
can't.
learned.
I
You learned about the Fugitive
well,
State Slave Act.
yeah, no, you
It
got so
was.
you got at least one history. Maybe they made that shit up too. Like shit, they just making shit up. It's a fucking Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Everybody just runs to Canada.
The fuck, like the fucking Avengers. That's what. Like, I thought Iron Man was gonna come up in that bitch. Like, I was gonna see Scooby Doo. Like, what the fuck, man? Like, they were just like, let's write in some characters. Let's create a lesbian scene. Let's just throw in a damn big black bounty hunter out of a fucking Shaft movie. Like, I mean, it was crazy to me. I'm gonna kill you, you black bitch. That's
What was
that.
that?
That was so funny. That
And
was
that
so,
tree guy, he did look like his costume was something from the 70s. Like
yeah,
he
he
did not
that
do a
little
good
the one
job.
who put on the dress. Oh,
He
there
was
was
very
yeah,
effeminate.
he would like be sitting up in the trees. He was like we called him the little black Easy E, the little black leprechaun.
Leprechaun.
Like he looked like Easy
He had a
Easy
curl.
E
Wasn't
Prince,
no
and
curls
he
in
had a
the
Jerry curl.
1700s.
How you gonna have a fucking Jerry curl before the Civil War, man?
Oh my
What?
God, he had a cherry curl.
They didn't invent Jerry curl juice till what? At least
He kind of had
1845.
he kind of had a Catch Me If You Can.
Did the Jerry curl come in about 1860? It look like you about to go skating. You about to
Yeah.
go to the skating rink.
He
No.
had on purple too. It just reminded me of Prince.
That was so funny. And then he was fucking wearing, and we talked about how feminine he looked. And then I'll be damned if they didn't put a
Yeah.
dress on that motherfucker right before they put the black woman in a man's costume, right? So it's all about
Yeah,
the
she had that top hat
the
on.
Hollywood agenda. The Hollywood
So they
agenda.
masculinized her. I mean, she's a
They
pretty
met.
masculine
They had two
person
scenes where they
and
they made the
feminized
women
him.
transgender by putting Harriet in the male top hat, and they
Hmm.
put the other woman with her where she had the hat on, where she went through and pretended to be like somebody's
Who
son.
was she fooling, really?
She wasn't fooling nobody. I was like,
Like, no one can figure out that she was just
like
lying. Like, that was
that
that was
they
stupid.
made that up. Yeah, yeah. They were just missing a
So
lot.
the plot and the storyline wasn't good.
I think that
It
they
didn't
just.
make
I'd
sense.
like to know how much of that story was really true, right? Like it almost seemed like they had all these little details they made up and put into the movie, and they just were like, well, let's just do it as the way we think it happened. That's
Okay.
how I feel. Like I feel like they, so because there was a lot of stuff that happened. I was like, it probably didn't happen exactly that way. And how would you really know exactly what she said next to the man and when he was standing by the tree?
So they have to fill it in, of course.
Yeah, yeah, they just don't be. I don't like white people telling black stories. I just don't like it. All right, guys, I'm about to go. Y'all have a good night. And so that's the real deal. That's our honest, real reaction to the film. We're not stupid people. We're both professors, and so we're pretty good at analyzing and breaking down bullshit. And so I think the decision here is unanimous that this is not a movie that you want to go see. Unless you want a good laugh. If you want a good laugh, then knock yourself out. All right, you ready to go to bed, babe?
Yeah, I'm ready to go to bed.
All right. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good night. Love you. Peace.